Scientia ABC Time.
Welcome to Scientia ABC Time, awesome book click. Today we are going to read Fairy Tale Treasury with one of the chapters, East of the Sun and West of the Moon.
Scientia ABC Time. Awesome book click.
Once upon a time, there was a poor farmer who had so many children. He could hardly afford to feed them, but all dearly, especially his daughter, Elsa, with her bright eyes and kind heart. They lived in the north, where the winters are bitter and long. One cold, snowy evening, there was a knock at the door. The farmer answered it and found himself face to face with a huge white bear. It had a tousled white coat and strong white paws, and when it opened its jaws, the farmer thought his last day had come. But then, to his astonishment, he realized the bear was speaking. "You are poor," growled the bear, "but I can make you rich if you will give me your daughter." The farmer shook his head. "Never," he said, "but not give up. Think it over," he roared, heading away. "I'll be back soon." Elsa had heard everything. "I can make sure my family never wants for anything," she thought. "It's up to me." So the next night, she secretly slipped outside. When the bear came back, she was waiting for him. "Climb onto my back and hold tight," rumbled the bear. "Are you afraid?" "No," answered Elsa boldly, and she thought she saw the bear smile. Then they set off into the night. The bear carried her fast and far through snowy forests. At last, they stopped beside a stone tower. Inside, Elsa found a delicious dinner waiting on a silver tray, stacks of beautiful books to read, and a vast four-poster bed with the soft silk sheets. It was more luxury than she could ever have imagined. "If only Father could see me now," she sighed, putting out the lamp and getting into bed. A few moments later, the door creaked open, and she heard someone flop down on the floor. "Bear? Is that you?" asked Elsa nervously. The only answer was a low, rumbling snore. A little gentle, friendly sort of snore. Whoever it was had gone straight to sleep, and before long, Elsa was asleep too. In the morning, there was no sign of anyone, but the same thing happened the next night and the next. During the day, Elsa spent her time reading and talking to the bear, and grew very fond of him, but she couldn't help feeling homesick from time to time. "You look sad," the bear told her one day. "I miss my family," she replied. "Then you shall visit them," said the bear. "But if they try to give you advice, don't listen. No good will come out of it." The bear carried her back to her old home, and it was much changed. The rundown old cottage was transformed into a handsome house, and her brothers were playing outside. They shouted with delight when they saw her, and asked her all about her new life. When she described the mysterious nighttime snores, her father frowned. "It could be anyone," he said sternly. "It could be a troll or a monster. Take my advice. Hide a candle under your pillow, wait for him to fall asleep, and take a good long look." Elsa shook her head, remembering the bear's warning, but she was very, very curious. "I'm sure it can't hurt just to look," she thought. So when the bear came to take her back, she had a candle concealed in her pocket. That night, Elsa quietly lit the candle and gasped. There, on the floor, lay a handsome prince, and there was something familiar about him. He had tousled white blonde hair and strong-looking hands. "Bear," whispered Elsa. As she leaned over to look more closely, 3 drops of candle wax fell onto his shirt. The prince woke with a start. "Oh no!" he cried. "If only you had waited! A witch turned me into a bear because I refused to marry her. But at night, I am human again. To break the spell, I had to live beside you for a year without you seeing my true face. Now, I must return to the witch and marry her. No! Cried Elsa, suddenly realizing how much she loved him. I won't let that happen! There must be another way to break the spell. There might be one, said the prince, but it won't be easy. What must I do? Begged Elsa. Come to the witch castle, the prince told her, east of the sun and west of the moon. But before he could say any more, he vanished, and the tower vanished with him. Elsa was alone in the snow. East of the sun and west of the moon, Elsa repeated sadly, as a gentle wind ruffled her hair. How can I find such a place? East! Whispered a voice. West! The wind knows best. Don't give up, child. It was the east wind. I don't know the place myself, went on the east wind, but one of my brothers is sure to have been there. And he called out to them. East of the sun? Laughed the west wind. Never heard of it. West of the moon? Sighed the south wind. It's too far from me. I saw it once, howled the north wind. It's at the very top of the world. Come, I'll show you. He took Elsa's hand and rolled her up in a chilly gust of air. They blew swiftly along until they reached the frozen lands at the top of the world. A gloomy castle loomed out of the snow. There! Cried Elsa, pointing, and the north wind set her gently down. A door banged open, revealing a long-nosed witch. Who's there? She snapped. What do you want? Elsa thought quickly. I heard you need a wedding gown, she said. I can make one for you. Come in, cackled the witch eagerly. She took Elsa into a little dark sewing room and left her there to work. As soon as Elsa was alone, she stole away to look for the prince. She found him sitting sadly by himself. But when he saw Elsa, he jumped up and gave her a hug worthy of a bear. You made it, he cried in delight. Now we can defeat the witch, for love is more than a match for magic. Listen, I've got a plan. The next day, the prince went to see the witch. My shirt has some spots of wax on it, he told her. I'll happily marry the woman who cleans it. Very well, snapped the witch. That's easy. But as soon as she touched the shirt, the spots grew darker. Angrily, she tried to magic them away, but the stains only grew bigger and blacker. You'd better let someone else try, laughed the prince, tossing the shirt to Elsa. In her hands, the cloth turned as white as snow, and the witch spell was broken. The witch screeched with fury and vanished. No, said the prince. I said I'd marry the woman who cleaned my shirt. Elsa, may I keep my word? Oh yes, replied Elsa, grinning. So a few days later, they were married in Elsa's father's garden on a sunny day without a breath of wind, for all four winds were guests at the wedding. The end.
Scientia ABC Time. Awesome book click.